Hi everyone, welcome to episode 2 of Cheltenham Chat. What a weekend we've got coming up. It's star after star running, and if you fancy them for the festival, I think the only advice I can give you is if you fancy them for the festival to get on now, because I just watched all season as prices have been slashed continually on anything that wins for Cheltenham. Now normally that happens after Christmas, but this season it seems like the bean counters at the bookmakers are just doing it straight off this season. As soon as they win any sort of race, 1 to 14, 1 to 12, it doesn't really matter, 2 to 9, any shred of values being absolutely torn out of the anti-post market. Last weekend we saw Appreciate It, Fernie Hollow, Manila Indo, Shiskin ran away with races they should win. Especially Shiskin. Yeah, I know he was flawless, but he beat horses who weren't really there to give him a race or to be even in the race in truth. Mick Pastor played peekaboo with the TV director for the entire race, trying not to be in the same screenshot as Shiskin because it would affect his handicap mark. So, he's just had a solo run round, jumping brilliant. Yeah, you have to say that he jumped really, really well, but he was put under no pressure at any stage in the race. And a lot of people in the comments talked about the Shiskin Envoyal double. It's something that you have to think about. Are they two real superstars at the same time? And if so, then the comments about how did I rate Janadal, who I thought was very, very good actually, and beat a good field, and Protectorate and Sean Blue, horses like that, if they're really against two superstars, they aren't going to cut it quite. Chantry House, Black Bull, Andy Dufresne, they'd probably all fit into that bracket where if these two horses are the superstars people think, then the horses below them are just going to have to mop up the races they don't want to go to. In truth, there's a lot of talk about Shiskin and Envoyal. Now that double's going to contract even further at the weekend should Envoyal win. It will be probably odds close to 1 to 8 now that his real opposition has been taken out of the race. So really you're left with a choice now on the likes of this weekend. If you fancy them to win their prep race, you've got to get on now for Cheltenham or you've missed the price, and that's on Epitant, Honeysuckle, Ballyadam, Envoyal, and to a certain extent Flinter Sacre, who runs in about 30 minutes time. So that's your choice now. What price will Epitant be after the fighting fifth should she win? I would say 2 to 1. They've generally clipped her into 7 to 2, from 7 to 2 to 3 to 1 already, but you've got to think they're probably going to cut her in another point should she win. And then at 2 to 1, where's the value in 2 to 1? I can't see her being much more than 2 to 1 should she win the fighting fifth in the season we're in. I could be wrong, they could leave her alone, she could have a really hard race, she could get beaten, but I'm not really sure what's going to beat her in that field. I know So Royale is a decent yardstick, but I don't think he's quite up to her level, especially giving weight. But who knows? I think the ground will suit Epitant as well, so I would expect her to win. I think Honeysuckle's got a bit of a task on. I don't think that's a gimme race for her against Ronald Pump and Beacon Edge. Beacon Edge, a horse who could be a long shot for the Stairs Hurdle. And a lot of those bubbles are going to be burst today. The Stairs Hurdle, McFabulous, Paisley Park, Time Hill, Lisnagar Oscar. Even outsiders like Honest Vic, only one of them can win today, and there's going to be a few bubbles burst there. But I think Beacon Edge could be a long shot for the Stairs Hurdle come March. I do really worry about these prices. The big examples, Imperial Aura coming from 25 to 1 to 7 to 1 for the Ryanair. Now he won at 7-4, and he beat a decent field without being outstanding, and now he's a shorter price than Min, a Plutard and Allaho. And I'm not sure that's the correct price he should be, but that's the price you've been offered. You either take 7-1 or you walk away. But I'd have that horse probably 10 or 12-1. So there really is, like I say, virtually no value in the markets anymore, and you're looking at you sort of a take it or leave it scenario. It's like Shiskin. I mean, you have to be a big believer at 6-4 to go in on him for the Arkle 4 months before the race, because it's a big risk tying your money up for that amount of time. And is there a chance that one of these, horses, like he's had a solo run round on a flat track and he's jumped well, but if he doesn't get much of a test before Cheltenham, he's going to come to those downhill fences and he's going to be in against the likes of Blackbow and other horses like that, maybe Almankind, that are going to put his jumping under a lot more pressure. And by then, if he's had a couple of bloodless more wins, he's going to be odds on as well. And that's what I mean about the cutting of the prices. There's absolutely no value left for a punter if a horse has come out and won. Like last season, Honeysuckle came out, beat Easy Game, and another horse, I can't remember what it was, in a half-decent race. And she was only clipped from 6s to 5s. And there was the value, because she probably should have been 5-2. But that's not happening this season. Like Shiskin came out after on his win against Newbury. He was 16-1 for the Supreme. Now I know it was cut quickly to 6-1, but now I think straight away that horse would have been 6-1 for the Supreme after the performance he put up. So that is partly what I mean about the values going, and it's going very, very quickly. And it's not like they're leaving some value for you after a race. There's none. There's absolutely no value after a race. You have to go in before the race. On the weekend coming up, it is very exciting. There are a lot of good races. There are good races this afternoon. That, like I said, the Stayers Hurdle will become a bit clearer from a British perspective. And then you've got tomorrow the Ladbroke Trophy and a very good hurdle race at the 225 at Newbury. And I would go against the favourite in that race. I'm not recommending that people back this themselves, but I'm personally having a few quid each way on Botox Haas at 7-1 for that 225 at Newbury. Now, we're running against the 11-8 6-4 favourite of Nicky Henderson's, who he says is well handicapped. So if Nicky thinks it's well handicapped and it's already that short a price, then we're up against it with top weight, especially against other horses like Milkwood, Time White. But I do think this horse could be a wee bit better than people think, and I'm prepared to risk a few quid of my money on him. That does not mean that you should go in. There was a lot of good comments last week, and all I can say to people that didn't like the video last week, there was one in particular, Callum Gardner, but there's loads of good ones. Appignante is professionally made by two guys who work for the Racing Post. Now they're obviously in the know a little bit, so Appignante is a very good professional outfit. They make a profit. It's hard to get the prices on their horses, but they're very good. And then you've got the other lads like myself who are they've got a lot more followers than me, so they're obviously better than me, but the Finishing Line, Cheltenham and Blair White's blog are all putting up selections. So if you don't like that I'm putting up less selections, then there are plenty of places you can go to get a lot of selections or a lot of thoughts on Cheltenham and what you may want to back, what their selections are. Are they, a selection that you might be interested in that you haven't thought about? So there's a lot of ways to go about the Cheltenham Festival. If I was scattergunning the festival like I used to do when I had accounts, I would be seriously looking at backing the horses I've talked about before they ran today. But I think probably of the value, I'd say 14-1 Flint or Sacra any race with Sky Bet was huge. Now, I could look very stupid in 20 minutes' time if he gets beaten, but I would only had him at 8-1. He did look very good in his bumper. 2 bumper runs. I know your darling has hardly franked up for him, but I just think, he's a bit of value. But I would say that if you want to back any of the others, you're going to have to get on now before they run. Keep all the comments coming in. I'll probably do quite a review on episode 3 of Cheltenham Chat. Who knows, I might even have found a bet. But for now, this weekend's a very exciting weekend racing wise. I'm having a few pound each way on Botox House myself at 7-1 for the 225 at Newbury. That does not mean you have to follow me in, but that is the horse I'm backing this weekend myself. So I wish you a good panting weekend. Thanks for watching. I'll be back to you next week with episode 3. Bye for now.